friends, welcome back to Beautifully Bookish Bethany, where I have new videos every week about books and the geeky mom lifestyle. Subscribe for more bookish videos and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified every time I release a new video. In today's video, I am sharing with you my July 2020 book haul. Okay, so we have some time left in the month. I am filming this a little bit earlier than I normally would because it's going to be kind of a busy couple of weeks, and I already have like kind of a lot of books. So some of these are books that I purchased, some of these are gifts, some of these are books that publishers sent to me. We have kind of a variety and a lot of things that I'm really excited about. So I am going to start with the books that were sent to me for review or for promotion from publishers. First up, Tor sent me a arc of The Relentless Moon by Mary Robinette Kowal. This is the latest book in the Lady Astronaut series. I have not actually read these books, but I have heard wonderful things about them and I've been meaning to get to them. And so when I got this in the mail, this was an unsolicited book, but I was like, oh yeah, I really need to read these. So this is out now if you guys want to read it. It just came out recently. I have heard fantastic things about this series. It's kind of a sci-fi alternate history thing that's set in, I want to say like the 1950s or 60s, where all of these ladies become astronauts, and I don't know what happens, but I hear really good things. So I already have the first book on my TBR. I really need to get around to it. If you guys have been enjoying these, go check out book 3. Thank you to Tor for sending over The Relentless Moon. Then I am very excited to be on the street team for a YA book that looks super interesting. This is coming out next month in August, and it came in this really cool box. So this is Traitor. Betrayal is a matter of life or death. So thank you to Fierce Reads for sending this along. As you can see, it is coming out on October 25th. And like, this is just super fun, cool packaging. Here is the arc. Where will your loyalties lie? Okay, I'll stop. So this is Traitor by Amanda Mcrena. It is a YA debut that is a historical thriller. It's set during World War II, and I know I'm not usually as into World War II historical fiction, but I've heard so many good things about this. I was like, yes, okay, let me read this. It says it's a tightly woven thriller exploring cultural conflict, deep-seated prejudice, and the terror of living in a world where deception is a means of survival. It's set in Poland in 1944, and I've just heard that it is a wild ride. So definitely excited to read this. If you guys are interested in that, go check it out. It's coming out in August. It is available for pre-order, and thank you to Fierce Reads for sending a copy. Then Entangled Publishing sent over a finished copy of Always a Bridesmaid by Cindy Madsen, so thank you to them. This is an adult contemporary romance that looks super cute. It's set in a small town in Alabama and follows a woman who's been a bridesmaid 7 times, and then her boyfriend leaves her and she's focusing on her photography career. But then she accidentally starts a fire, I think in her sister's bakery, and she meets a firefighter who comes to save the day, and I think romance ensues. So this sounds really cute. I am hoping to read this pretty soon. Thank you to Entangled for sending a copy. And then, as usual, I have several books from Harlequin. They send me books to promote over on Instagram, and they've been coming out with a lot of really fun stuff. First up, I have another book in the Mcrena Adores line. This is Hairpin Curves by Elia Winters. This is a cool new line that takes traditional romance tropes and uses them in books with LGBTQIAP+ protagonists. And in this case, it is a female-female frenemies to lovers road trip book that looks super cute. Then also from Harlequin, I have 3 books in their romance lines. First up is A Winning Season by Rochelle Ehlers, and this is a baseball romance featuring kind of a girl next door story. And this book releases on September 20th for anybody who is interested. Coming out on August 20th is Settling an Old Score by Dolores Fossen. This is a cowboy romantic suspense featuring a hero who is a Texas Ranger and a cowboy, and it's a second chance romance with an ex-girlfriend. And then finally, I've got Marriage by Arrangement by Sophia Singh Sasson. This sounds really fun. I like a good marriage of convenience story. This sounds super fun. Rule number 1, don't fall for the client because he'll rock your world. Architect Rani Gupta will never let a man compromise her career or freedom again, which is a problem now that her newest client is irresistible hotelier Arjun Singh, aka the sexiest bachelor in India. A little fling with this gorgeous man would be scandal enough, but a fake engagement might just be more trouble than they bargained for, especially if Arjun has a prior arrangement. So that one sounds fun. And then the final book from the Harlequin publicity team is Hate Crush by Angelina M. Lopez. Again, this has a fake relationship trope, which I really enjoy. This sounds fun. It says, a fake relationship could help Princess Sophia save her kingdom. Only problem, she'll have to fake it with the man who broke her heart. Yes, fake relationship with royalty. This sounds really great. Next up, I have my Book of the Month box. I talked about this in my last book haul, which I'll link up above, kind of my feelings on Book of the Month Club. I am no longer an affiliate for them. They've paused their affiliate program, but I am still a member. And if you guys are interested in checking them out, there is a link down below. This is just like a normal referral link that anybody has access to, where like if you want to sign up for it, you can, and I get a free book, but no pressure. I really like them because I think they have a good selection of books, and I think the price is really reasonable. It's $15 a month, including shipping for a new release or sometimes pre-release hardcover, and then you can get up to 2 add-ons for $10 each, which I think is a pretty good deal. I like it. Okay, and I'm really excited about the books that I got for this month. My main pick for July was a highly anticipated book, which I have now read and loved, and I talk about it in my July mid-month wrap-up, which I can link up above for you guys. This is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. She is definitely a favorite author for me at this point, I would say. I really loved Mexican Gothic. I was nervous because I've seen some negative reviews for it, but it totally worked for me. One thing that I think is important to know is that this is not a Gothic romance, it's a Gothic horror novel. And it has like hella content trigger warnings, so my Goodreads is always linked down below if you guys want to check that out if you need to know that going in. But I thought this was just so good and so smart. So if you like horror, maybe check it out. I'm really happy to have it. And then the other book that I just had to add on because it's another very anticipated book for me is Girl Servant Thorne by Melissa Bashardust. This is her second YA fantasy novel. I really liked the first one, Girls of Glass and Snow, Ice and Snow. I don't remember, guys, but I really liked it. It's probably on here. Girls Made of Snow and Glass. I was close. So this is her newest one, and I'm hoping to read this one really soon as well. It says, there was and there was not, as all stories begin, a princess cursed to be poisonous to the touch. So yeah, this sounds really interesting. Is she a princess or is she a monster? She's cursed to be poisonous. I'm curious to see what she does with this. And I'm very excited because NetGalley recently started doing audiobook arcs, and I have an audiobook arc of this one, so I'm going to be listening to it very soon, but I'm hopeful that I will enjoy it, and I like the cover too. Next, let's talk about my pre-orders. There were 3 of them this month. First up is one I mentioned in my last book haul, and I was so thrilled it came in. I really do want to read this soon. This is Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. Guys, I am so sure I'm gonna love this. I love Talia's books in general, but I have been hearing so many good things about this book. And does this one have fake dating too? It's also a fake dating book. We have a black bisexual heroine and a big, nice bodyguard, I think, or security guard as the hero. I'm so ready for this. I also pre-ordered a copy of Anti-Racist Baby by Ibram X. Kendi. I am kind of an Ibram X. Kendi stan, and so when I found out he was releasing a board book, I was like, yes! Give it to me. So I'm really excited about this. We'll see if my kids are as into this as I am, but I love the concept. And yeah, I just think this is really cool. Open your eyes to all skin colors. Use your words to talk about race. Point at policies as the problem, not people. So yeah, I just really like this. I think as a starting point for having conversations with kids, this is really cool. And I think it was back ordered because it took them forever to get it to me, even though I had pre-ordered it. So yeah, I got that one. I don't always include kids' books in these hauls, but that one I thought I would. And then my final pre-order was The Damned by Renee Audier. This is the sequel to The Beautiful. I've got to say, this book is stunning in person, and like it's purple. The first one was red. I also talked about this in my mid-month wrap-up. I really liked it a lot. I do think it overcorrects a little bit against some of the criticisms against The Beautiful, which I loved The Beautiful, which maybe I was in the minority. So I didn't like this one quite as much, but I did really enjoy it, and I like kind of where it took the characters and the way it opens up the world. Also, you get way more vampires and other mythological creatures in this. It's fun. So this one was 4 stars for me, and I'm very happy to have it on my shelves. I will definitely be continuing on in the series because given the ending of this is not the end for sure. Next, let's talk about some of the books that were very kindly sent to me as gifts this month, because quite a few people did this, and I'm like really touched and appreciative. I don't know what it is, like this month and last month, quite a few people have sent stuff, and I'm very touched by it. First up, the wonderful Ashley over at Bookish Realm, who, if you guys are not following her yet, please do. And I'm thrilled for her. Her channel has been like blowing up, which is awesome and well-deserved. She's a teen and children's librarian and just makes incredible content. And she super kindly sent me 2 books off my wish list. So she sent me Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. This is the first book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. I have never read J.R. Ward, but I know that she's really big in paranormal romance, and I'm interested in trying this out at some point, so now I have book 1, so thank you, Ashley. And she also sent me a book that I heard about over on Mara's channel, Books Like Woe. This is Heart of Blood and Ashes by Mila Vayne, and this is like a fantasy romance that I know she really enjoyed. It's funny, when I told her I had it, she was like, well, just know he is like really an alpha, which I know is not your favorite, but the heroine like gives as good as she gets. So I'm like, okay, good to know, thank you. I'm still like excited to pick this one up. So thank you so much to Ashley. This was really kind of you, and I'm excited to have these. Then Teresa from That Gemini Reader over on Instagram very kindly sent me 2 books, and you did not have to do this. This was so sweet, and she sent a really, really kind note. She sent me Meet Cute Club by Jack Harbin, which I read this as an e-arc and really loved it. This is an indie published male rom-com that's super cute. It's like a small town romance that's just like adorable. And so if you're looking for something like that, it is own voices for the gay representation and for the biracial representation, and I just really liked this a whole lot. And now I have the super cute paperback copy, thanks to Teresa. And then she also sent a book that I actually added to my wish list because of Ashley over at Bookish Realm. This is Hood Feminism, Notes from the Women That a Movement Forgot by Mickey Kendall. I've been hearing so many great things about this. It's a nonfiction book. It's an intersectional look at feminism and is about Black feminism, and I'm really excited to read this. So I'm actually on the wait list for the audiobook from my library, so I'm hoping to read this really soon, and now I have a hardcover copy so I can like annotate it. Yeah, very, very happy to have these. So thank you so much to Teresa. This was so kind of you. I appreciate it. Lastly, Autumn from Chapter Malyumkin very, very kindly sent me an entire amazing care package, including 2 books that I'm gonna share, and like sent me a note that made me get really emotional. It was just like, it was very, very sweet and made me cry, kind of. So she sent me Every Deep Desire by Sharon Ray. It's a contemporary romance, and the soldier is the main character, and it was one that she just thought that I would like. And then the big thing that she sent me, which, like, guys, I'm thrilled to have this, but like, yeah. This is the special edition Owl Crate release of Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. It's beautiful. It does not have a dust jacket. It has all this stunning gold foiling. This is one of my favorite books of the year. It's like Moulin Rouge meets Phantom of the Opera, and it's so good. It officially is coming out in August, but Owl Crate did these special editions, and thank you, Autumn, so much. Yeah, this means a lot, and I will treasure it, and it will be going here on my favorite shelf. I'm so thankful. Yeah. And then lastly, we have all the books that I bought for myself, of which there are quite a few. So one thing that was very exciting this month is bookstores finally reopened, and I got to go to a couple of my local indie bookstores and bought some books in person, and that was super exciting. So I went to The Strand, which is my primary local indie. I bought Arm of the Sphinx by Josiah Bancroft. This is book 2 in this series, and the Books of Babel. Senlin Ascends, you can see right here, it's one of my favorite books I read this year, and I really want to continue on with the series, so I picked up book 2, and I found a half-priced copy at the Strand. I also found a half-priced copy of a book that I'd been hearing some good things about. This is Given by Nandi Taylor. It's a YA fantasy romance book that has dragons, and it's African inspired, and I just been hearing some cool things about it, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pick up a copy. So I grabbed that as well. And then for like $2 on their carts outside, I found this really pretty book that I just like, I didn't need this, but I got it. This is The Ice Dragon by George R.R. Martin. So it's this really pretty little novella that I guess was actually written, it's like a YA story written in the world of the Game of Thrones universe, and it's like illustrated, and it's just like, sorry, I had to change the battery there, but when I saw this and saw the like beautiful illustrations in this book, and it was only $2, I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna have that on my bookshelf. So this was not on my wish list, but it's really stunning. So I grabbed that from the Strand as well. And then I went to McNally Jackson. I was looking for a specific book, which they didn't have, but they did have a couple of discount books that I was interested in, so I ended up picking these up. First up, I have Black Venus by Angela Carter. This is a really pretty edition, and I have actually never read Angela Carter, but have meant to. This is like a fairly short one, so I figure this might be an interesting one to start with. This one is a short story collection, so that seems like a cool place to start with her. The other one that I picked up is The Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe. This is one that I've been wanting to own and read at some point for a while, and so I found they had a copy for, I think it was like $6 or $7, so I decided to grab it. So this is like a popular Gothic romance from back in the day when Jane Austen was writing, and in fact this one is referenced in Northanger Abbey, which is one of my favorite Jane Austen works, so this is something I've been wanting to read. So when I saw it for pretty inexpensive, I decided to grab that as well. Those are from physical bookstores. Then I have a few books that I have gotten online. Continuing of adding to my collection of nonfiction books that are dealing with race in America, I decided to buy a copy of Stamped: Racism, Anti-Racism, and You by Jason Reynolds and Ibram X. Kendi. I told you guys I'm like an Ibram X. Kendi fangirl. This I had listened to as an audio arc and really loved it, and the audiobook is actually fantastic, but I wanted to own a copy. It's a YA version of Stamped from the Beginning, which is Ibram X. Kendi's sort of magnum opus, well worth reading, but I think this is a much more approachable introduction to his ideas, to the history of racist ideas, and his discussions of anti-racism and how you can step into it. And I think Jason Reynolds did a really good job of remixing it for a younger audience. But I would recommend this for anybody, so I'm very happy to have a physical copy. And then because it was on sale, I also decided to pick up a copy of The Color of Law, A Forgotten History of How Our Government Segregated America by Richard Rothstein. This is another one that I heard about from Mara over at Books Like Whoa. I know she really liked this one, and it sounds interesting. It basically deals with the history of redlining in America, basically keeping Black families in certain neighborhoods, making it difficult for them to become homeowners, and segregating cities in kind of legal ways over history. So another one that I really want to get to sometime soon, and I'm adding that one to my shelves. Then, because I really enjoyed the first book, I decided to pick up the second book in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series. This is Exile by Shannon Messenger. Yeah, I really liked the first one. I would like to continue on, so I grabbed book 2. And then, if you guys have seen any of my recent wrap-ups or my favorite books of quarter 2, you know that I am now obsessed with Kennedy Ryan. So I had to buy Grip, which is one of my favorite books that I've read in the year, and the final book in that trilogy, Still. So for those who are wondering, there's 3 sort of books. Flow is a prequel novella. It is not necessary, but it does add a lot of context and I think is pretty interesting, but you could just read this alone. This has an ending that is happy for now, so you could also just read this by itself and it is a satisfying conclusion, but I do want to continue on because give me more, why not? And so Still is the end of their relationship. So this one's going on my TBR. This one is going on my favorites shelf. And then the final book that I picked up in July is this whole thing I'm doing of like, give me all the vampire books by Black authors. I have Fire Baptized by Kenya Wright, book 1 of the Habitat series. And this one was actually kind of hard to find. So I think there was a recent cover change, and when I went to buy it, the new cover one wasn't available, so the old one was out of print, so I ended up getting a used copy of this. The new covers are cool too, but this one does have vampires and shifters and fairies, and I am curious to give it a try. So there you go. That is my surprisingly sizable book haul for the month of July, and the month technically isn't over yet, but they were piling up, so I just did this now because I needed to film today. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know any of your thoughts or feelings on any of the books that I shared with you today. Are these ones you're interested in reading, ones you've already read? If you have thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.